Yo, this is Paul out here. Hey, just listening to some video, some audio this morning, and wanted to share some concepts with you that I was picking up from there. My good friend Justin was speaking on the audio, Justin Brandy, part of our prosperity team, and what he spoke about pretty much escaping the matrix, right? So what is the matrix? Well, pretty much the matrix is, and I started realizing this years ago, I did see the movie, but I never really watched it. But years later, I started getting the concept, since I study energy and spirituality and how we create our reality, I started to see the whole thing start playing out for me, where what really is the reality, and what is the reality that the so-called elite or the system that we're under has created for us, and what is really real, right? It's different. Like, they tell us, okay, you are free as long as you do what they say. So is that really freedom, right? It's the matrix. They have got us caught in, the bankers and the world elite have got us caught in this space where they tell us something, but it's quite the opposite. It's quite the contrary. Like, can you go out and do what you want, when you want, why you want, and with whom you want? Or do you have to get the okay from either the government or from your boss or from some organization that only they can tell you if this is okay or not? Sure, I know there's society constraints and there's things that we have to do from our heart that we know. Well, we know what's right or wrong. But when you have to go to work every day and say you're a parent, I see my neighbors, both parents working full time, kids in daycare, and yet they're still getting foreclosed upon. They're dead up the yin-yang, and they can't even get time off. Now, is that freedom? Is that really freedom? No, that's their system telling us we're free, yet they've enslaved us. They did a real good con job, and that's another thing I've been studying for years. I've been studying the banking system and the elite for the last 14 years. And so Justin went on and says, how do we actually get out of that? How do we change from where we are to creating a new thing, to getting out of their so-called matrix system, right? We don't have to stay in that system. We can choose to step out of it. But how do you do that? Well, you have to start looking at things differently. You have to question everything and anything that you're presented with. And I question everything. Actually, I had a thought years ago, because I get these things that come to me from time to time. And the thought was, what if everything you had ever learned was wrong? And it just came to me out of nowhere, and I thought about that, and I looked around and I said, holy shit, I think that's a true statement. It's got to be. Because look at the world. I mean, if we look at any spiritual teacher, be it Jesus, Buddha, even Gandhi, let's say Gandhi, right? What did they teach us, right? What did they teach us? If we are living by what they taught us, would we be living in the world we're living in today? I don't think so. If we were living by what Jesus taught us, would we be living in this world where we have bankers controlling us and lying us, and governments that say one thing and do another, and then we're under their constraints because they got to say it's okay for us, right? So I looked at that statement, what if everything we've ever learned was wrong? And I go, oh my God. So from that point on, I question everything. So how do we step out of the matrix? Well, first of all, it's by questioning everything. You know, I look at the news and I had to turn my TV off. I had to get it disconnected because I could see, now that I question everything, that the stories that they're telling were complete lies. So how do we actually step out of the lie and step into it? Well, we got to choose. We got to choose to be around people that are actually looking out for the betterment of the whole world as a whole. You know, that's what myself and Justin and a few other people that I hang out with these days. And you know, it comes down to your life is going to be the net worth, or the net heart worth, or just the way you look at things by the 5 closest people to your life. So if you want to be a kind person or be a person in power and changing the world, then those are the 5 people you need to be hanging around with. Or a person of wealth, a person of character, a person out there doing things. You need to be around that. And sometimes we have to break off from the regular, you know, family members and things like that, or people that may want to suck us down. That's how we get out of the matrix. And it's a temporary thing until you rise above, because for some reason, the negative tries to pull us down. But if we're surrounded by 5 amazing people, or a group or a team of people, like we put together with the prosperity team, we're around positive information. We're around people that want to look at things differently. We're around people that are so excited about changing their lives and changing the way the world is. Not just for my good, not just for their good, but for everybody's good. Because the people of the world need to unite. Because what's going on in the world right now is the elite and the greedy. Look at the GMO foods, and look, I mean, I can go on and on because I've watched it for so long, and I've been trying to tell people about it for so long, and it just doesn't serve the people. I mean, if you think about GMO food, and you think about the taxation systems and just the work situations where they enslave people, and look at the starving nations in the world. Is that really the way human race is supposed to exist on this planet? I don't think so. It's our birthright to be free, to be healthy, to be abundant. But for some reason, somebody's talked us out of this. Somebody's locked us in this paradigm that, no, you got to work your ass off day in and day out and die of sickness and cancers. And then they say that's life? I don't think so. I think our lives are worth much more than that. And that's kind of what we're doing with the Empower Network and the Prosperity Team, is that we're bringing people together to unite in that way. Sure, we're looking to make money, because how are we going to change the world? Well, when the money, and I've always said this, when the money gets in the right hands of the good people on this planet, like that, like, there's my snaps, the world's going to change. You know, and the hair on my arm stands up, right? When I speak truth. Wow, that's cool. So that's kind of what I got for you today. I want you to start thinking about life and questioning everything. Is that really true? You know, if you still watch the news, and I recommend turning the TV off, because even the news, the only thing I ever watched was comedy shows like Seinfeld and sporting events. And I didn't watch the commercials because they're always trying to put us down. But if you watch the news, if you watch TV, question it. It's all made up. If you know who controls the media, you know that. So I'd say turn off the news. Watch things that educate you, make you a better person. But question things. You know, we don't have to believe as they tell us, We can make our own choices. We're powerful. You're amazing. And I appreciate you listening to me today. Doug out from the Prosperity Team, and it's about your success. Click on that link below. Find out what we're doing with the Prosperity Team. Look at the new prosperity paradigm that we're creating with our team. And wherever you are in life, make sure you're living a good life. Peace to you. Out.